Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. We are today June 7th, Sunday, June 7th, 2020. I had to wait for a little bit. I started to film this video, and my cousin came with her kids, her husband, other companies. The dogs were barking and everything, so I had to wait. I'm starving. The sun is setting. It's already 6 p.m., but we are going to film this video. I'm not going to hold the camera because I want to be, well, I could have held the camera like this, but I actually really want to be able to like talk to you guys. I really want to share what happened as I am filming this video, right? Like I paused because the people were here, and I checked the comments, and I'm reading some of your comments from the previous videos, and I so appreciate the support. Lord, I thank you so much for everything that you said. It just warms my heart, really. But something took place, like I said to you before. Something took place Friday. Here I had a fight with my father, and I want to talk about it, because I feel like I want to talk about it because there's a lot that we can learn as a community. There is a lot that can be tied in from what I've shared with you in the past regarding the way that you move, right? And I also feel like it's therapeutic in a way. And the other thing is, like, so many people always feel like, not all people. I feel like the younger people, they perceive me to be a certain way, as if, like, what, everything is perfect in my life. I would wish and I would love for everything to be really, really perfect. And hopefully in the near future, everything will be somewhat perfect, because I do have the way that my outlook on life is that it needs to be flowing. Like, I don't like to have things a hard life. That's not my outlook on life. Okay. So, where were we? So, as I was saying to you before, the month of May has been a very, very good month for me, right? It has been a very good month because I was able to close down a couple of contracts. My website one of my website is up, and just seeing progress in my work, right? And that put me into a very, very beautiful energy mode. I went shopping. I just decided to live my life, right? Which I always do. So what I noticed now, one thing that I need for you to also, let me see if I put the camera here. Can you guys see me? Oh, you guys can see me until it gets on. Now, one thing that I don't know, that I think I've shared with you. Not only have I shared this with you, but it's something that I've expressed to you before. When you live in a country like Haiti, right, you need to have, well, for me, right, I like to move very, very, hold on, so sorry about that. So living in a country like Haiti, right, I want to be able to do my work very, 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 very quietly, right? um, it's something that I find that is going to be very, very rewarding. In the past, my hardship didn't come from myself, but my hardship came from external factors, right? Everything that you guys are seeing now in my life, like what you guys are seeing that I'm doing, these are things that I already knew. They were already said. These are things, and a lot more, that I had planned when I came to Haiti 10 years ago. However, I was very, very young-minded when I came to Haiti, and there's a lot of things that I wasn't aware of. I wasn't aware, as I mentioned to you before, that all of my ideas, all of my plans, all of the things that I was going to do was going to be met with a lot of resistance. And this resistance came from, first and foremost, they came from my home. They came from my family. They came from my parents, right? So that didn't really deter me. What it helped me to do, it helped me to grow, first and foremost, to understand how the human minds worked. It helped me to take the hat off, because that's also something that I've always shared with you guys. It helped me to take the hats off, my parents, meaning, like, I started to look at them for who they were individually as people, instead of looking at them as mom, dad, my parents. I started to look at them and to understand, okay, do you pose a threat, you being here in your house? Are you a threat to the way that the household is running, to your views. Because you guys know I have not the same view as everyone. So, um, that in the past, my way to deal with the chaos in my life was to always meet it with a lot of like fight, like come what may, like I got it right. And then of course you grow and you want a lot more peace in your life than anything. And then I decided, when I came back to Haiti, I decided to refocus and reshift my energy. And if you watch the video that I put out, which is the top 10 reasons why 2019 was a great year for me, I've shared with you that in 2019 I mind the business that paid me, meaning my entire focus for 2019 was my work. It was my man. It was my number one thing, right? It was working. Come 2020, my focus is still my work. However, I have been feeling like people have been rubbing me a little bit of the wrong way in the house. And so far, I've been wanting to be the bigger person. I've done such growth in terms of like my spirituality, just my womanhood. I was like, what, let's just let this slide. But starting around the month of March, I decided that what, sometimes you have to put your foot down. So I've shared some of these little chaotic things that happened with the lady who works here, with some of the girls who live here, and now it is my parents, right? So fast forward to, let me tell you a little bit of what led to that blow up on that Friday. So I've shared with you the dynamic that I have with my parents, and what I've noticed, because one thing about me and one thing that I have developed a lot is the fact that I've been really staying like really, really, really quiet, right? And being quiet helps me to observe, right? And observing is a lot more better than talking. I will tell you. I like to remain quiet about, how I make my money. One of the reasons behind it is because in the past, I have most definitely, how can I say this? Like, in the past, I have definitely been the victim of envy, of the evil eye, of envy, of kind of like, oh, really, that's how, like people feeling like the way that I'm moving and the way that I'm living is just too easy. Because let's not forget that I do come from a culture where people believe in slaving to make money, and it's very dangerous when people have that mindset, and when people have that personality, as if what, in order for me to work, in order for me to make a dollar, I have to work hard. And my parents do come from that set of class where they believe in working hard. Me, I look at it as slaving. I believe in finding your gifts, finding your talents, and creating the best way for you to have a smooth, just a peaceful life, right? So, like I said to you before, the month of May was like exceptionally well for my life. Everything was like so good for me in the month of May. And of course, my entire being was felt like that. My energy was felt, everything was felt as far as like, the way that I was feeling for the month of May. And in the past videos, I shared with you that sometimes, people are watching you, people are paying attention to the way that you move. And unbeknownst to you, you can upset people by the way that you're living, right? So, as you guys know, as you guys know, my nail tech comes here to do my nails. I have noticed that, and not only that, me having my cash flow, I go about my day a lot easier, because you don't have to wait, you don't have to budget, you have your own money. So I'm able to maneuver and take care of myself, right? And I feel like for some reason, it's probably making my mom feel uncomfortable, because you understand that, what, I don't know how much she has, just all these like subtle ways and subtle things about her whole controlling demeanor, right? So what happened is that on Monday, my nail tech came to do my nails at home. And when my nail tech came to do my nails at home, now one thing I think I've mentioned to you before is that I really don't communicate with anyone. And it's not because I want to be aloof, or it's not because I want to be a pest, but it's just because I have learned from the past. I have learned from being too, because as I said to you before, you would be very surprised at who is for you and who is not for you. You would be very, very surprised at how people might just feel about you making a certain amount of money when they're looking at it like, well, I don't know what you're doing. Like, why is it that you're making that money? Like, we are not understanding, you understand? Especially when the outlook of life is different, it's best to keep yourself private. And that's exactly what I've been practicing. So Monday, my nail tech comes and she does my nails for me. She's been doing my nails not consistently from home for a little bit over a month. And when the lady came, I noticed that my mother caught an attitude around the woman, and I never said anything to her, but I let her feel my energy because I wanted her to understand that if you pop in front of that woman, we're gonna have a problem. So she was just like whatever, and she didn't say anything, but you can feel people's energy. Even the nail techs, she felt that, and I think this comes from the fact that it's just the whole control thing. It's just the whole control thing about, wanted to know everything regarding my personal life. Like, and me really wanted her to not be so much onto my business unless I really want to tell you, right? So that was the first thing. It was like that little friction on Monday. Okay, so on Tuesday, I needed to go to the store because I needed to get some personal items. Now, she goes every week to the store. That's maybe her love language. That's just how she is. She always buys stuff for me. This is between you and me. Now, before we start this video, I told you before that this video may trigger certain things inside of you depending on the relationship that you have with your own family. So it may wake certain things in you that is not so good. Or if you are a parent and you are watching this video, you may relate to it, or maybe you have that type of relationship with your kids. So I just want to put this out there because sometimes I watch videos and they trigger stuff inside of me, right? So like I said to you before, every Thursday she goes to the store and she always purchases stuff for everyone in the house. It's not like she doesn't really purchase things for myself only. She purchases things for everyone. Now, in the past, I've always accepted everything that she purchased. A lot of the things that she purchased, I don't want to say I can do without, but these are not things that if I were to go to the store, I would purchase for myself. But since she buys this for me, I'm okay with that. And I always say thank you, right? In the past, as she was going, because she always goes now, I think it comes from the fact that she is also the head of the household, so she would always like purchase things that I would purchase for myself, so I would have double of these things, such as she would purchase like toilet paper for me, she would purchase like Ajax, just everything that you think that I would need to use in the restroom that I use, right? So but I usually like would actually go and get these things. So sometimes I ended up having 2 or 3 of these things at a time because she still would purchase that for me, right? So on Tuesday, I go to the store and I say to myself, you know what, let me just, because I still need personal items. Like, it just might be things that I need that. So I go to the store and that, it's so weird because it's kind of like, that should not upset anyone. Like any decent person, I don't understand why me going about my day and going to the store to get some personal items, why that would make you feel a particular way, right? So on Tuesday, I go to the store. Before I needed to go to the store, I needed to take care of something. So I went to take care of that thing and I went to the store. Now, the store here in Haiti, they give you like plastic bags. And the way the people pack the plastic bags is sometimes they put like one item in 2 plastic bags. So you're walking around with all these plastic bags and people are literally might believe that you're carrying a lot of things, but you're really not. Because sometimes it's like they put 2 or 3 things in like one bag, right? So I come here with the bags, which, what did I get? I got about 2 bottles of wines. I got my Cheetos because I was ovulating. And I got I got some detergent, and just mini stuff, some toilet paper. That's it, really. Nothing, some deodorant. There's a specific cologne that I like to put on me when I'm done washing. I got 2 bottles because I usually like to get things by 2 or 3, like I said to you before, because sometimes I don't like to go out like to the stores. You guys already understand how I feel about going to the store here, so I try to eliminate that as much as possible, right? Excuse me. I don't get anything for her because I know that she is going to the store on Thursday and she will get what she needs. Plus, the following week, I got her some stuff, and it was like, excuse me, it was like, okay, so I come in with the stuff, and I put the wine over there. Mind you, that Monday I did my nails, right? So on Tuesday, I went to get the things that I went. When I came in, she started to say subliminal messages, just some weird stuff. And I know she was talking about me. She was just saying this whole subliminal messages. Oh, Miss Ami, um, bonjour, what to that guy? Like, Jesus, you see everything. It's like I couldn't understand. I laughed because I know that she just felt a particular way just because I went to the store to get some stuff. She would be the type of a person where she would want me to give her the money and come back and give her a list. Like, that's how of a control freak that she is. She would want me to probably give her the money, give her a list of everything that I need, and she would get everything for me, but not wanted me to do these things. Do you see the madness that I have to be here with? So I don't pay attention to that. I'm like, whatever. I go about my day. That's Tuesday. Wednesday, what did I do Wednesday? Not much, still going about my day, just doing what I'm supposed to be doing, planning, certain aspect of my life. So, but I know that her and my dad were talking about me because my mom has a way of being very subliminal with some of the things that she says. And on Tuesday night, she was making some tea, and I went to get my wine in the freezer. And you know what she said? She asked me if she could. What time are we? 20 minutes. Okay. So she asked me, she was like, can you lend me some cash? She was like, oh, put him on TikTok. Family, YouTube is some of, I mean, be the judge of character. I am not a person that would hide money from people. But between you and I know for a fact my mother does not need my money. Okay? She asked me because she probably is thinking to herself that she can see that I have the cash flow. It's just a way for her. I don't know for what, right? So then when she asked me for the money, I said, Mommy, I don't have any money. I was like, if I had money like that, you would not have to ask me. Because in the past, I've lived in the house, I've worked in the house, and every month I gave her money, right? So I was like, if I have money, you really don't need to ask me. I would give it to you, so I don't know why you ask. I said, is it because you just see that I'm going to get a few things at the store? I just don't want to put all these burdens into you. So I say this to her, and then she's just like, oh, that's enough. That's it. So come Friday. Now, to tell you the truth, we just spent about a week with absolutely no electricity here in the house, and astrologically we are in eclipse season, so people are feeling a particular way. I've expressed to you before the situation in Haiti with the water. We haven't had water. We are supposed to get water from the town where we live, but for some odd reason the water doesn't come all the way here. So my father has to always go to the office and sometimes tip in some of these people aside for them to give us the water here, right? So the water, the well was a little down, right? And then on I think on Wednesday they gave us the water, and that following Thursday evening or Friday morning, one of these days, I think it was Thursday, they gave more water. So the well is all the way was all the way up. Plus, we were able to put water in like the big five gallons that we have here in Haiti, which is, let me show you, like this. You see, this is how we'll catch the rainwater. We use the rainwater sometimes, and then sometimes when they give us enough water, we'll like fill these up, right? Okay, so that's Thursday. So now on Friday, right? We still didn't have any electricity. So when you don't have any electricity, we literally have to go all the way down, get the buckets, put the water up. Now I'm being really honest. I use a lot of water, right? I gotta bathe. I'm very sorry. I gotta take my shower. I shower 2 to 3 times depending on how hot it is, and I shower well. And you guys know I have to wash my hair and all that. So, for the average Haitian, like I said to you before, that's why I don't really tend to go to people's house, because it's not enough water, and unfortunately your girl has to be clean. Okay, so come Friday, I had already showered, but I love to keep water in the restroom because I don't like to always have to call someone to bring water for me, or it's like when I need the water, I just like to keep the water in the bathroom. If I need the water, I just go and I get the water. So I go downstairs and I fill out a bucket, and I'm going upstairs with the bucket. My father was in the living room, and he is the one who monitors the water. And when I tell you, he's so particular when it comes to how much water that you need to use. Now, usually he knows how I am. He knows that I use a lot of water, so he has not really been telling me anything regarding the water. But I know the fight that we had was not about the water. It's kind of like good doki that they bought it with us. It's kind of like he used, to me, the way I'm looking at it, it's like it wasn't the water. I don't believe that it's the water that made him pop like that. It probably was a lot of build up things that was inside of him, and then he just exploded, and the both of us almost had a physical fight. Okay, so I come with the water, and as I'm going inside the restroom, he comes next to me and he says, "Oh, you know what? You need to be careful with how much water that." He says to me, "You need to be careful with how much water that you're using." I looked at him like, "What do you mean I need to be careful with how much water that I'm using? I need the water to use in the restroom. What am I supposed to do? What kind of water?" He's like, "Yeah, but you know what? You need to use." I said, "Listen, let me tell you something. Don't piss me off, okay? The water, there's enough water for us to use." And he's like, "Well, you know what? If the water finishes, And I said, "If the water finishes, then you'll buy another one. What's up?" Then he says to me, "Oh, really? I'm not the only one who can buy water here. You can buy water too." So I said, "I can buy water?" I said, "This is your house. You buy your water." He says, "No, you know what? I'm done working. I already told you this. I'm old enough. Like, I'm done working." I said, "You done working?" I said, "What are you doing for me?" I said, "What are you doing for me here?" I said, "When was the last time that you done anything besides paying for my school?" Sometimes these people act like you gotta be super freaking how do you say this? Like, your gratitude has to be indefinite because you've been a father. That's what you've done. You've done your job as a father. What am I supposed to do? You paid for school. That's what people do. That's what fathers do. So it went from us going about that to this turning into something totally different that I'm not going to bring here, right? I'm not going to bring this here because I'm mindful of people's mental health, and I feel good because I stood my ground with him, right? So when he started to bring some other shit to me, I let him have it too. Oh my God, I let him have it. The thing with me, guys, is I think you guys can see that I am not the one to be messed with. Don't bring no conflict to me. I like to avoid conflicts. Sometimes I feel like conflicts is good because it is in these moments that you see people's truest colors. It is in the moments of anger that people really tell you how they feel, right? So a lot of shit was said between me and him. And I really did put him back in his place, rather roughly, to put it like this, right? And my mom was there. She was. I think everybody was. I know the entire neighborhood heard us, and I don't feel bad about that, right? I don't feel bad about it because one thing that I've told them before is no one is going to bully me into not doing what I came here to do. If you stand in front of me, then you become my enemy, and I will meet you however and wherever you want me to meet you at. In the past, since I've came, I've used a lot of diplomacy, which is not my strong suit, but just because I wanted things to be smooth. So, and the arguments, guys, when after we had this argument or whatever, I go upstairs in the room and I start to laugh my ass off. Like, I start to laugh so much. And I'm like, I cannot believe that the issue that they are having is the fact that they're probably thinking. That's what I said to myself. I said, these motherfuckers are thinking that I'm sitting here on money and I'm not sharing my money with them. And I'm not telling them anything. Like, see, let me tell you something. What are we now? I gotta hurry up. When you don't sit with people and tell them how you move, right? Because for the most part, if I'm not gonna tell people when I have money and when I don't have money. God has blessed me enough that I know how to maneuver. So when the cash is not there, you're not gonna know that the cash is not there because I still have something going on. For example, I'm not gonna die like my appearance is not gonna suffer, from not having any cash, right? I've shared with you in the video living a rich lifestyle some tips for me, right? The issue, this is what I'm thinking, and this is what because the reality is when he said you can buy you can purchase water too. I went back in my mind and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, for him to say this is for him to insinuate that I have cash that I could tip in and support them with some of their expenses in the household. That's how I'm looking at it. Because why would it be for you to say that to me? I'm not the only one who lives here. They have about 3 other girls who lives here for free. So I know for a fact that that's not the issue. The issue is not about the water. The issue is about the fact that, in my understanding, the issue is that for the past weeks or so, they are paying well, first of all, I hate to, because some of you might just feel like, well, you had the problem with your dad, why are you dragging your mom into it, right? But I know how my mom gets down, right? And they have my parents have been married for almost 50 years. Their relationship is of the chain, right? So I know for a fact that she is the one who's has been insinuating into his ears that I have money, right? She is the one that has probably insinuated, because after that, when the both of us started to go at it and she had to intervene, and she was like, you know what, I don't even know why you're getting at her like that. If it's a problem for the water, like, I'm gonna buy the water. That's my mom speaking. And he said to my mom, no, it's not about a matter of like, I don't need you to buy the water, but Rebecca cannot come here and use us. Like, we've already done our part, so the little bit that we have left, like, she cannot come here and use us. I looked at them like, use you? How? So I know for a fact that it's her probably saying to him that, oh, you see how she gets her nails done all the time. Look at this. Because like the way she is, like I said to you before, very little will go unnoticed to her unless you got to be so observant. So like little things that, I've been able to bless myself with, and it's kind of like, I went shopping, got myself a little perfume, got me some sandals, things that you do for yourself, right? But it's kind of like, why is it's so nice outside, guys. It's so beautiful. I'll put the camera up soon. But why is it so upsetting to you that as an individual, I'm taking care of myself? But why is it like for them, they would feel comfortable if I sat them down and if I went from A to Z into details and told them about my life. About, oh, the mommy, this is what I'm doing. No, no, we're not doing this because you have not paved the way for me to act like that with you. None of them have. These people have been my enemy from day one, from me wanting to be in Haiti. If I had the support of my parents, so like I was saying to Haiti, if I had the support of my parents 10 years ago, I would have been further in my life. But my parents stood in front of me a lot when it came to Haiti. Like, if I had to go into story times, we would not be at it. But the beauty of it all is that I was able to use everything as a stepping stone and to continue further into my route. So for me, the altercation that I had with him on Friday, as soon as it was done, I felt good. Now, yesterday morning, I still felt like I was still in a fighting mood, you know. And it's so weird because he knows so much that he is at fault with instigating this fight that we had, because I feel like, you know, the other thing that I feel is that they have seen how I have grown. You know, I have not, you know, bait into them wanted to, trigger me into being upset, because in the past usually that's how this relationship would go between me and them, but then I would always run away. That's how I ended up working in so many other places in the country, because I would get so mad that I would not want to be here. But my narrative is changing and I have shit to do and we're going to get everything done. So I come here and I share this with you because I want to tie it in with when I tell you how you need to move in silence. And even when you move in silence, people are watching how you move, right? And for me, the way that I'm looking at it, you know, there's like a lot of things that I wouldn't do. For example, when I went to see when I went to spend, that's between me and you, right? I want to purchase a car and I seen the car that I like. I love the car. Like, I test drive the car. The car looks just like myself. It's a Volkswagen wagon. Like, it's really, really beautiful. It's all black. The only thing about the car is that it has leather seats in it. And I feel like, you know, for leather seats in Haiti, I would always need to have my AC on. Like, the upkeep of the car for Haiti would have to be there. But I love the car. Like, that's not the car that I went for, but the guy had that car, you know, when I went with my cousin. And that's not the car that I saw, because that's not the picture of the car that he sent me. But he sent me an Infinity, but I didn't like the Infinity because the Infinity is like a little car. And for Haiti, because the purpose of the car for me is to drive it around and is to go out and do a lot of outings out in different parts of the country. So I need a nice car, like a truck, right? So when I saw the car and I was negotiating the price, something told me, and I said to myself, if I get this car, and I said to myself, if I buy this car and I come to my house with this car, these people are really going to think that I'm sitting on money. That's what I said to myself. I said, if you have the nerve to get a car like that and you bring this car to your house, your family are really going to think that you're making money move. So, it's so sad, because if I have to tie this incident into even like poor communities and rich communities, because the rich do not treat their children like this, right? It should not have to be this. It should have to be a whole unity. It should not have to be that type of dynamic here in this house, right? It should have to be like, I should not have to outthink how they're thinking so that I make my move. It's okay for me, because like I said to you, all these little scenarios have developed different things inside of me. But this is me also telling you, when I say things to you, that you need to move in silence. And it's so funny, because as I'm filming this video today on Sunday, June 7th, the other video that I have, it's already out. And some of you are saying to me, okay, it's time for you to leave. And I've been known that it was time for me to leave, but I didn't want to leave without having my work set up. Because, see guys, let me tell you something. You got to think outside of the poverty mindset, right? And unfortunately, what my parents have failed to realize is that they already have established a foundation for each of their children, right? Not only in what they have built as far as like a home, but as far as like the way they have established themselves in the country, the business that they have also have. My mother has a school. I work in education. My youngest sister works also in education. The both of us combined could have been a fucking bomb for my mom in her school. However, because she is such a controlling person, it makes it very difficult for us to work with her because she has a very hierarchic type of set. So she has to just do the struggle life. Like to me, I look at it. To her, she doesn't look at it as a struggle life because that's the type of lifestyle that she used to. Whereas to me, I'm looking at it, well, if you had let us team and work with you as different department, your school could have been so much bigger. But I don't want to put my energy into always wanting to make people see what they don't want to see or what they probably see but they're just not open to it. You know what I mean? So you have to understand this mindset that sometimes people have that can be very detrimental to your growth, right? Now, for those of you who are going to say, well, it's time to move. Yes, it's time to move, but you want to make your move in such a way that 2 months from you leaving their homes, you're not going to call them back and be like, oh, you know what? I'm kind of like need your support. You have to realize and understand that very importantly is that what is the best move for you to make and how are you going to make this move so that you don't do a back and forth, you know. And also, I think that someone posted a comment on the last video when the person said to me that it's funny that sometimes as a woman, let's not forget my age, and it is a freedom to be of my age and not have, especially in my culture, I've talked about that before, to be my age, to not have any dependent, to not be married. And you get that liberty to do things as you please. You don't know how other people are going to feel about that. Because what's stopping me? My money. That's the only thing that could stop me from doing or exploring my life however way that I would wish to want to explore my life. And that can also upset people when they're seeing kind of like the probably the ease that you have. I've created my ease and I expect to have I always tell you guys this, I expect to have a much more fluent, abundant, beautiful life because first and foremost I do believe that I've paid my dues already, right? I have worked the last 10 years of my life, sometimes with no pay but for the benefit of others, and the God's always going to pay you back, right? The gods watch, they see what you do. So it's not my fault if I'm at the place of my life where my blessings are coming about, but I just might not want to share that with anyone and just keep things to myself. You know what I mean? So this is food for thoughts. I really wanted to come. I wanted to share this story because, first and foremost, I enjoyed the fact that the first story is, you guys are really enjoying that. But also, it's me saying to you guys that your environment is very important, and this is also for people who would understand that a lot of us as second generation Haitians, like, we would want to come back to our countries, but we are met with this resistance. We are met with these scenarios. I can't tell you how many people that I know personally, people that I went to school with, who came to Haiti around the same time that I came to Haiti, like around the earthquake, but had to leave because of their parents. They had to leave because they just couldn't deal. Because once you leave Haiti and you, let's just say, venture off in different countries where you have that freedom, you have that liberty, you don't want to come back and be here in this mess. Nobody wants to. Now, my love for the country has always been greater than the obstacles that has presented themselves to me. My love for the country, my vision, my goals, my passion, has always been greater than some of these obstacles. And maybe I might just have a lot more strength with other people where it's kind of like, I'll meet you where you meet me. Right? So I was able to deal with these situations and still push my work forward and still continue to go in the path of my passion and really what I really want to do in life. but I can sense, and I bring these issues because sometimes I feel, like I said to you before, I feel like some people, they're kind of like, they're thinking that I'm really living a life that is not dramatic. I always tell you guys, I am Haitian, so some of the issues that you face, I do face them. I just choose not to focus on them because we gotta leave, and I'm not about to focus on anything that is negative, right? So guys, this is it. I was really hoping to make two videos for you today because I wanted to talk about which happened. So how do I feel now? I feel amazing. Today we are Sunday. Last night, I have developed inside of me the ability to release. Because the thing with life is, like, you got to be careful when people are targeting you, when people are arguing with you, and you know that you are in the right. You have to be careful not to let the energy that they sent to you, not to let it attach. You know what I mean? So let's say that you don't have any argument with someone, comes to you and that person is lashing at you, that person comes to you with anger. It's not coming from you, it's coming from that person. But if you keep it inside, or you hold everything that that person has said to you or whatever happened, you now carry that, that burden. You carry whatever happens, right? So it happened on Friday. I felt okay, but then yesterday morning when I woke up, I was still kind of like in my little fighting mode, and I was walking around, closing the doors so loudly, just making sure that they understood that, okay, who's next, who's coming next, like, who's next. But then last night I sat here, and it was like, we still have like the full moon going on, and the moon was so like bright and shiny out on the sky, and I just started to pray. I just started to pray, and I started to pray, and I sat calm, and I prayed, and I just felt, a good sense, like, it's got, I guys, now you guys are seeing different aspect of me. I'm very, very spiritual. So praying helps. Okay, praying helps. So I started to really pray. I started to release. I started to release everything that happened, everything that was said. I was like, what, I said my piece. I stood my ground. I met him where he wanted me to meet you at, because you came at me a certain way. Like, also, the one thing that I don't do, this is for people who believe in a certain way, as if there are people who believe that just because people are your parents or they are your subordinate, that you always need to be a yes sir. That's not my life. That's not my life, guys. That's not my life. I meet you where you meet me. You disrespect me, I'll disrespect you back. I'll meet your energy. So just because he is my father that I really love, but you crossed me the wrong way and you came at me with a lot of venom, so you got what you deserved, right? Which was so weird, because yesterday he avoided me. I don't even know where he was in the house yesterday. I don't know if he sat in his room thinking about everything that happened, because it was like, dude, what's your problem? But guys, these are the bullshit that I have to go through. Even when I come here and I smile and I make my videos and we continue to work, we continue to push forward, and I'm loving some of the comments. But sometimes it's not easy. The work is not easy. The work comes with a lot. I go through it just like everybody else. I just don't like to dwell. I love to have a beautiful smile from my face, but that also comes from my eyes. So I brush these things off, like, okay, I know what's your problems. I know you guys just thinking that I'm sitting here being rich, eating your food, drinking wine almost every day, and you don't know what I do for a living. Well, you don't need to fucking know what I do for a fucking living, okay? But I'm gonna get the car just to piss them off. Should I get the car or not? Like, tell me. But I'm gonna get the car. Like, should I move out first or should I get the car? Like, let me know what you think. But I feel a lot better. Like I said to you, I woke up today all smiles. All smiles. I woke up well. I think it's because I prayed last night while I was sitting here, and I was like, God, you know what, I don't need this right now. This is not the time for me to focus on any fights. I have too many things coming. I have too many things that I need to do, and on Tuesday I have somewhere that I need to go, so I'm gonna take you guys with me, because what I've decided to do, I was like, let me just run up the mountains on Tuesday and spend some time to myself, and I'll probably, like, what are we in, 14 minutes now. The other thing, guys, I'm gonna have to make another video, maybe like We'll see, because I wanted to talk to you about what's going on here in Haiti in terms of like the inflation. Right now we have 110 good for $1 American. So literally the devaluation of the good is so horrible that if you are planning an outing, you really, depending on what you're doing and where you're going, it's kind of like $200-300 does not do anything for you. And it's sickening. It's sickening because sometimes it's like you have the cash, but it's kind of like you don't have enough, right? It's starting to rain, guys. I hope that the story time is not going to trigger anything bad out of people, because sometimes we have these altercations with our loved ones, and sometimes things happen. I've known, unfortunately, of many altercations that turned the wrong way. I share this with you because I need for you to understand that, as a Haitian woman, I go through it just as my other Haitian person, or just as any other people. Um, Hopefully it's not going to trigger anything out of you. I welcome your comments already. I welcome what you have to say. I am in a much better place. Don't worry about me. Like, I release shit. Like, I no, I don't keep anything. I was not in the wrongs. It's not. The conflict came to me, and I dealt with it. So yeah, I really wanted to come, and I really wanted to share this. I wanted to tie it in with some of the things that we talked about, and just food for thoughts. So I will not be able to film a second video for you for the day because it's about to rain. It's 6:30 p.m. I'm starving. I'm going to eat, and I'll come back. We'll have a video for you like sometime this week. I'll come back with the country, and we'll start diving into some of these videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and do not forget that I run consultation for those of you who are interested in doing business in Haiti. Please check out the description box. You're going to see the website of the youth agency. You're also going to find more information related to that. Thank you so much for watching, and mostly for listening. I will see you soon.